Hello and welcome to Grumpy Old Men. I am Mark Wogan, and of course I am joined by Kevin and Mike, who are both very, very grumpy. And we're going to kick off with you, Mike. Shorts in the office?
Yeah, well...
It's summertime.
It is that time of year. And
Stand up.
What do you say?
Stand up.
What do you say?
Now, when I suggested... see, that's already...
Don't get many of those to the pound, do you?
Fortunately.
Or the euro. So I didn't even know you would come in with shorts on, but I had a vague inkling tonight.
I don't like you to disappoint.
I
just knew
I had
it.
a vague inkling. When I thought of this tonight, it was because somebody else had come in to the office who was broadcasting and was wearing shorts. And, you know, we're sitting in a room here, which is quite cool.
Yes.
It's chilled out.
Yes.
Most companies now have air conditioning in offices.
It's actually quite cold in here.
It is
right now.
actually. So you're probably now regretting wearing the shorts.
Yes.
Because it'll be freezing. You're going to have goosebumps.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand why people think that it's okay, unless you work outside, right, that you should come to a place of work.
It's obviously someone in
as...
particular has annoyed you this week with their shorts.
Not particularly.
Who was it?
It was Peter Cardwell.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And
yeah, he's the one.
he was not wearing what I would call tailored shorts. You see, I mean, Kevin and I don't know if you've ever...
A Bermuda short.
Well, a Bermuda short or a tailored short, as they call it in the golf club. You know, if you play golf, and particularly in America, it's not at all unusual for people to play golf in shorts, but you wear ankle socks, not long socks,
right?
Ankle socks and tailored shorts. Which, that's okay on the golf course. I still wouldn't say you could go to work like that.
No,
but he
unless
came
you're in Bermuda.
Yeah, maybe in Bermuda, they're fine. But there are a lot of things you can do when you're in places like Bermuda that you don't do in bleeding London, right? That's why I'm grumpy about
Bermuda's not the template for the world.
It's really not. Okay. And, you know, the police wear shorts there. You know, and go to Italy and the police, the Carabinieri, all dressed in white.
So it's mainly Peter Cardwell, though.
It is mainly Peter Cardwell, but I want to broaden it out slightly. He was wearing the most ridiculous
It says here, shorts in the office. That's your grunt. We should read Peter Cardwell, shorts in the office.
or just Peter Cardwell in the office.
Well, it just prompted me to think of it because I have seen other people wearing it. But he was wearing, I don't know how to describe them. They weren't quite football shorts and they weren't quite running shorts, but they were not...
What kind of length were they? Because the length is very important.
Yes, it is. They were not what I would regard as long enough.
Were they just above the knee? I think
you've got to take them to the knee, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, you're in Bernard Bresslaw Carry On Camping.
Exactly
right.
Yeah. Well, these were sort of turquoise colour, right? And
Reform UK.
And they had... And you know when the side of them, they were sort of... They went up like that.
Split.
They had a sort of split.
So they had a sporty turn to them.
So there was a sporty sort of feel to them. And so for me, they didn't look like their pockets. They didn't look like shorts you would wear they looked more like swing trunks, to be honest. And I thought, you can't come to a studio, and look, an international broadcasting, organisation, dressed like that. I'm sorry.
So what about this look today?
I think he had a proper shirt on. You see, you're looking, bohemian with that look. Okay, you've got the shorts, a reasonable length. Although I'm not too sure about the tie waistband.
Okay,
the tie waistband. They're not really tailored, but
no, they're toweling.
They're toweling,
right,
so that it gets worse.
But but he was wearing on the top of the shorts like a dress shirt.
No. No.
And I assume
you've got to go with the whole look.
Yeah, but you see, I assume he wanted people because they wouldn't see what he was wearing below the waist. Because there was remember there was a famous a video of a BBC newsreader.
Yes.
Who I can't remember which one it was, but he was sitting with underneath the table and he had shorts on underneath the table.
I think it might have been Kenneth Baker.
Yeah.
No,
I quite like that. I'd like it to have been Reggie Bosanquet.
Yeah, it was more modern than that. I think it was more like the last sort of 15, 20
If it was Reggie Bosanquet, below the desk would have been a bottle of gin.
Yes, and no trousers.
Yeah,
nothing.
And a woman.
Right, yeah.
Now, talking of beverages, Kev, vinegar. Is this your favourite drink? Why are we talking about vinegar?
It's just a personal thing. It's nothing against anyone else.
You don't like vinegar?
I absolutely detest it to the point where I think
we're in Kev's world of the deeply specific again.
I think I might be kind of allergic to it because when I accidentally taste it, I literally start retching. And I can't stand the smell of it. I particularly hate the kind of hardcore Sarson's malt vinegar.
Hardcore.
But people say And then
What, as
people
opposed to a delicate white balsamic?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but people go, yeah, exactly. People go, well, you must like balsamic. No, I hate it. I really hate it.
So what do you have on your salad?
Well, I don't mind a bit of lemon, but I quite like what do you call it? Blue cheese dressing.
Yeah, but that's got.
But that's it.
But it's
that'll
got a
have
bit of
vinegar in it,
vinegar in it
doesn't
somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean,
But it
just
doesn't
say-
taste of vinegar.
Can I just say, apropos of this, a couple of months ago, I was sent a couple of really nice bottles of vinegar by a listener who happens to supply one of the shops
You
at
were,
Borough
you
Market,
were, yeah.
Right.
And I thought I'll give one to Kev. You never told me you hated
Well,
it.
no, yeah,
Hang on.
well,
I
hold
gave it back.
on.
I'll have it back.
Henrietta absolutely loved it. You know,
Okay.
it's a
Oh,
personal
Oh,
thing. It's
so
a personal
it's
thing.
not universal in
But you
the
don't-
O'Sullivan
just
house.
walk out.
Being a
Just
middle
walk
class
out.
person,
Just
this
walk
is
out.
this is the nightmare of it. Being a middle class person, you go to all these dinner parties and you're sitting there and there's all these people go, oh, lovely,
When did
lovely
Kev
food.
upgrade
And then they bring in,
himself to middle
they invariably bring in a big salad bowl. And I look at the salad and I thought, that looks delicious. They go like this. Mix it all up and they
Did you
shove
not
it all
request
over.
that you have some salad that's undressed?
Could I have an
but-
undressed salad for Mr. O'Sullivan?
that is a
please?
bit the way I tend to go. But I can't, it's just a personal thing. I hate
You're
What about on
pescatarian,
chips?
right? So what about fish and chips?
No, I can't stand
Really?
vinegar.
So what do you have with your chips? Don't tell me mayonnaise.
Nothing.
You've got sod
Nothing.
off to Belgium.
Nothing. I don't like salt on chips either.
No.
What?
I don't like.
It's the only
salt.
thing I put
What?
salt on.
I don't put salt on chips.
I put salt on
I don't-
everything.
I don't like.
I put salt on my wife.
Do you?
No,
How is that preserving going on?
it's very good.
You know,
It's very good.
doesn't smell at all. Brilliant.
But look, I mean, if we are allowed to give things to people that they can't have anymore, vinegar. I mean, it's
Well, yeah, it's just as I say, it's a person. The one last point I want to make: when you go to a restaurant, usually a crap one, not like yours, Mark, of course.
home sliced pizza.
What the hell are you doing?
And you'll
Hold
order.
on, I was about to
you'll
do
order
my-
something. Shall we say, a piece of cod or something, but roasted cod, and it's no doubt delicious. But they don't put this on the menu. It turns up and they've crisscrossed it with that dreaded balsamic vinegar.
No, I'm with you there.
Which for me makes the entire dish inedible, and it's not on the
Now,
menu.
That I am absolutely with you, Kev.
It's again-
the idea that balsamic vinegar should in some way be a garnish.
Yeah.
But they don't
it's-
mention it because it completely
yeah, it's
changes
too-
the
it's
taste.
too overpowering.
I'm pretty sure there are restaurants as well who garnish it with something which looks that colour, but it isn't actually vinegar at all.
But do you remember old school Italian
Yeah.
70s trattorias?
Yeah.
You used to get some really odd garnish. Like you'd get like a sort of, you'd have a steak and they'd put half an orange
Yeah,
That's
right.
with a bit of curly
Very
leaf parsley.
70s. Very 70s.
Yeah. I mean, arguably that's less offensive than I agree with you.
Yeah. My parents
I-
used to take us to a little place in Shepherd's Market in the old days, and then we'd have to point out who the hookers were. Maybe give me this education.
as opposed to a garnish.
As opposed to a garnish, but also, this has nothing to do with garnishes, but we were watching
What
the
does the
news
steak
one
come
night.
with?
I mean,
a hooker.
Yeah, well, with Shepherd's Market,
yeah.
you know.
This is a strange insight
and hang
into
on,
your upbringing,
It's
Mike.
better than this, right? Because
We did it in
we're watching the
family
news.
outing.
We were watching the news one night, and the guy who owned the restaurant, who was Mr. Ruggeri, lovely guy, was being led out of the restaurant in handcuffs.
Because he was running
Turned out he was an international art dealer, art smuggler.
Oh, right. Not running a brothel.
No,
All right.
he was an international art smuggler.
Well, I wonder.
It was a quite good education, that.
I wonder if he has a LinkedIn page.
Oh, this is a good one, Mark.
I
couldn't agree with you more.
hate LinkedIn.
What
Yeah.
is it exactly?
Well, I think it's for people who don't know how to conduct themselves
Yes.
correctly within a business
Yeah.
format.
Yeah.
Right? Because not only do you just get pestered on it. Now, I didn't choose to have a LinkedIn profile. And if you want to get ignored by me, go to my LinkedIn profile because I don't ever look at it. Right? But it got set up by somebody in my team for me, thinking they were doing me a favour. All it means now is I get loads of messages and emails about people trying to sell me things that I don't want.
Well, people you don't know.
Yeah, from people I
That's
don't know.
crap, isn't it?
But also, it is the home of the humble brag.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
It's a humble brag.
Yeah.
Listen, I just scored big on this month's numbers.
Yeah.
Don't want to brag about it,
No, of course
but I'm pretty special
Yeah.
at what I do.
Yes.
What is the idea of it, though? I mean, I get all these invitations, I just ignore them.
I left it. They had a big sort of hack, didn't they, about 3 or 4 years ago, and I just completely just ditched my account because I never used it for anything.
But what is it for?
I think it's for people looking for work, isn't it? Looking for a job.
It's to business network, all right? So, or to enable you to talk about
absolutely.
to talk about your business. You can talk about your business on it, which I think is fine if you talk about your business.
Yeah.
But there is the tendency, as with all social media platforms, because really, at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Is to big yourself up or pretend
right.
you're something that you're not.
Yeah.
And this, I think, lends itself to a lack of professionalism.
Yes, I agree.
And it's just a format or a forum in which people can be a bit more unprofessional, a bit sort of lie about their CV, and sort of con people into buying some of their rubbish
I must
products.
admit, even when I had it, I didn't use it much. The only interesting thing that ever happened to me on LinkedIn was my girlfriend from primary school found me and got in touch. Yeah,
that's the kind of thing you want to avoid. Also, what you want to avoid is the business self-help gurus who are on it, going, do you want to up your productivity by 50%? Yeah, well, I won't do it listening to you.
Mentors.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story.
Because if you were any good at that, you'd be doing it. You wouldn't be telling people how to do it.
Exactly.
You know what you said about your school friend? This is apropos of nothing, but I seem to have agreed to go to a school reunion.
Oh.
Right,
well, you'll be able to put that
somebody
down.
saw me and said, let's get him down.
I think that could be a show in itself, Kev.
So they're all. So I've agreed to go.
Brilliant.
Can I come and film that?
Yeah, but anyway, this girl has come in on they've got this group chat. I'm not in it, but somebody sent her contributions. She said, "Oh yeah, I remember him. Long hair, fancied himself as a girl puller from an early age."
Really? Well, fancy that.
Nothing's changed. Then, apart from the length of hair.
Yeah, I haven't got long hair anymore.
Long hair.
Still an unsuccessful girl puller.
Well, don't do yourself down, Kev. Lanyards, Mike.
Lanyards, yes.
Yes.
I've noticed lately there's been an increase in the number of people wearing them.
They call them the lanyard class now, isn't it?
Do they?
Yeah, it's a phrase, the lanyard
Sort
class.
of middle class type.
Well, the Westminster types.
Yeah.
These people
I'd just like to point out this isn't a lanyard.
That's not a lanyard. That is
sort
a sort
of
of
it's kind of a god's
It's
lanyard.
a faux...
Yeah, but I mean,
it's got skulls on it.
It's a man without a religious belief wearing a lanyard.
Yeah, it's a decoration, isn't it?
So, I'm just
But these
keeping
people who
myself...
wear but these people who wear lanyards wear them for one reason only: to prove, one, that they've got a job, and two, they want you to know where they work. I don't understand why you would want to do that, right? They're wearing these lanyards. They've usually got...
oh, yes.
They've usually got the name of the company.
Like the BBC.
Yeah, printed.
I work at the BBC.
Yeah, or I work at, PricewaterhouseCoopers or something like that.
Also,
or News UK.
I don't think we have them here.
But also,
but if they have, I'm not wearing one.
Yeah, but also it's if there's some event or convention going on, it's to prove that you've got a VIP pass to the very special area.
Yes, there is that.
It is.
It's a denotion of importance.
It's a bit like when you go to a festival or a show or something. You've got all the wristbands that you need to get access to all areas.
AAA.
Yeah, you've got them all up halfway up your arm. Yeah, but I mean that's a kind of different thing because that's a special occasion. If you're going to Glastonbury, which I would never do,
that's
or
not a special occasion.
And you want to go to places, that's fine. But this is people who on a daily basis go out in public wearing a lanyard. I mean, like if you work in a big building in a big company and you need to have a pass to get through, I can almost accept that. But these are not people who do that. These are people who travel on public transport, who walk the streets with the bleeding lanyard on.
Aimlessly. Are you saying that they're pretending they have jobs?
Well, they might be. It's possible.
Now, where do you stand on... I take it with the lanyard. I hear what you're saying. Where do you stand on the retractable key fob one? That one.
Oh,
the one that you
what
snap
is that?
back. The thing that's like a sort of small
don't know
dog
about
lead.
It's on a spring, right?
Like on a spring.
There's one that comes back and hits balls.
Pass.
Yeah.
No.
I always tempted to just grab those and then...
cut them with scissors.
No, or just let them go and... They whack someone either in the...
No, I'm not fond of people who can't just put it in their pocket and get it out whenever they need to get into the building.
I mean, this building here, you need a pass to get into it.
And some people do wear them as lanyards.
I don't like that.
Keep it in my pocket and take it out when I need it.
Exactly.
Which is what we do.
Which is the whole point of it.
And plus, it wouldn't look good with these beads.
I just think there's a certain type of individual that deliberately wears a lanyard. And I might be criticising younger people because a lot of younger people like to seem to wear them.
It's like I say, there's a new
some
phrase,
kind of badge.
the lanyard class.
Yeah, it's a badge.
Yeah.
Now,
A middle-class pottery.
Talking of badges, somebody's been handing out their special badges this week, haven't they, Kev?
Yes, indeed.
Go on.
My grump is the honours system. Never did like it. I don't think it does anybody
Till you
any
get
good.
one.
Yeah.
No,
Kev?
it's not likely to happen.
It's not really, is it?
My old man, lifelong. My old man.
Why on earth is Kev got as much chance as anyone else?
No, I haven't. I really haven't.
Unlikely.
Imagine old Keir Starmer saying, let's give Kevin O'Sullivan a night.
No.
But my old man, proving what a joke the honours system was a lifelong civil servant. And one of the reasons you get an OB or an MB or whatever it is that you work for the civil service for 45 years. You know, why do you get an honour for that? You don't get an honour if you work for other companies for 45 years. Anyway, to his credit, he turned it down and said, well, I don't see why do I...
What did they offer, an OBE?
Well, I think, is it MBE is the lowest?
That's the
he got
entry
offered
level.
an MBE. And he said, I don't see why I deserve an honour for turning up to work. But that's one more reason that the honours system has been debased. You know,
Well,
David Beckham, give him a knighthood if you want, but if you think about it, you know, what has he really done except cravenly begged for a knighthood for the last 10 years? Sadiq Khan.
Well, he's done a few things.
No, hold on now. Sadiq Khan.
Sadiq Khan. You know, in other words...
What's he ever done?
Yeah, I mean...
He's ruined London, that's what he's done.
Think of all the knighthoods that have been given to murderers and rapists and traitors. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Murderers?
You know...
Yeah.
Like who?
Well, there's quite a few murderers.
I mean,
knighthoods.
my old man had one.
Huh?
He wasn't a murderer.
He wasn't a murderer.
No. He deserved it, actually.
Was he knighted?
Yeah,
in the end?
he was knighted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see,
He started out with an OBE, and then they upgraded him.
I think your dad.
No, but he definitely
warranted
wasn't a
one.
murderer. Just to be.
No,
pretty sure.
but I think he warranted one.
Yeah, and he never got interviewed.
If you think
under
about your
Operation
dad's
U Tree
position
either.
in this nation of ours, and you compare it to Sadiq Khan or David Beckham, Sir Terry Wogan, that's justified. So
It's got a nicer ring to it.
My
hasn't
point
it?
is
than
that,
Sir Sadiq.
So it's not the honours system you don't like.
well, it's the
just
way
people-
they go about
It's
it.
the people you don't like getting.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose it is that.
Yeah.
It's a nice principle, but the reality of it has become very debased.
I think that's been the case for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's. There's always every time they bring a list out. There's always a couple of people that you think, what the hell have they got it?
Was
Exactly.
it Tony Blair who brought in the,
I mean,
the people's
did
honours?
Jimmy Savile deserve his?
Oh yeah, definitely.
He did?
Yeah, he did at the time because
did at
nobody
the
knew he was a horrible paedophile.
Yeah, but he
You know.
didn't, did he?
Eh?
He
You know.
didn't.
No,
did
of course he didn't.
That's my point.
No, of course
That's
he
my
didn't.
point.
I was using irony to make my point.
So they just hand these. I mean, what about all these?
Heavens! Really?
No.
Irony to make a point.
Explain this to me. Why is it that sort of various fairly obscure backbench MPs get knighthoods, and yet someone like David Cameron, the Prime Minister, doesn't? You
Well,
know?
because he's Lord Cameron, didn't he? He went straight
Yeah,
to
but
the
that's
top.
so he could be. That's so he could be Foreign Secretary. But you know, it's certainly not automatic that Prime Minister.
Because Tony Blair's got
Tony
one.
Blair got one in
He's
the
Sir
end.
Tony Blair. Because I think all of it with the politicians is all a kind of it's just a big kind of what would you call it? Just a negotiation all the time.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
well, you give one of ours one, and we'll give one of yours
Yeah.
one, and all these ridiculous people like Nick Clegg. How is he Sir Nick Clegg? How is Keir Starmer Sir Keir Starmer?
I have
Exactly
no idea.
right. You see, the honours system is debased. I give you Sir Keir Starmer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
My case is proved.
when you get a gong,
Yeah.
do you think you have to sign up to a newsletter? Do you get like
Well,
updates?
I hate newsletters.
I hate.
I don't
newsletters.
like them.
What are they for?
I don't want them.
But they are the two things, right? They're going to sell you something you don't want,
All right.
right? They're going to tell you something about themselves you don't care about.
Right.
Or worse, they're just going to clog up your inbox.
And they're going to come automatically to you, aren't they?
And I never asked for them.
No.
I never thought, do you know what? I really want your newsletter.
Yeah, I haven't got enough to read.
I'm stuck for things to read on a daily basis. Could you send me a newsletter
Right.
about your brownie company?
Keep me updated about your company.
Could you update me about the shirts that you make?
Yeah.
Or about your restaurant?
Yes.
What about local areas? You know, like a parish council newsletter or something like that.
No. Still no.
No, still no.
No.
Bollocks
If you
to that.
no, because no, but there are apps.
Tell
for
you
that.
things
So
you don't need to know.
I agree with you.
if you're interested in that, you can do what my wife does. This thing called Nextdoor. Have you seen
No.
this?
What's that?
It's an app you can sign up
I don't
to.
even want to
And
know
it's-
my next
and it's
door
full
neighbours.
It's full of busybodies.
I don't want to know my next door neighbours. That's why I like living in cities.
Yeah.
I don't want to know them.
That's right, exactly
You know,
right.
they would used to come around, no, can you take this parcel for, number 19? No.
What's the best
Not
thing
taking
about
it.
London? It's so astronomically unfriendly.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
I mean, look, the newsletter, right, is only surpassed by that one person who puts an update in the Christmas card.
Oh.
You ever had that?
No, but I'll tell you what I have had.
You've had another kid.
I've
No,
had...
but they get
another
the
one
letter.
died.
I used to get... There were people that I knew when I lived in New York because people tended to sort of travel through and work there for a while and then end up somewhere else. And some of them would send like an annual email at Christmas
But
to
that's the
update everybody on what they'd been doing.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less.
You used
I
to get
literally
that.
couldn't
You
care less.
used to get that in analog format,
No.
which was the folded up sort of update newsletter
Yeah.
in the Christmas
No,
card
I
once a
don't
year.
think I've ever had that.
But
I wouldn't want it.
But this
I put
is
it straight
just
on
the
fire.
digital version of it, but from companies.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you can't opt out from them, or if you do, try unsubscribing.
Yeah.
You click unsubscribe
Yeah.
and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Or it's like your request has been noted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Are
you
you
haven't done
sure?
anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's the worst newsletter you've currently got in your inbox then?
I never read them. I think.
But you're getting unsolicited ones.
No, but there's one. I'm
gonna
not
see if
going to
I've
name
got
who
any.
they are, but there is one restaurant that sends out a newsletter every month, and all they do is talk about how brilliant they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd just
do you
like to say
remember
it's
that-
not Home Slice Pizza, which has 2 sites in Central.
God, here we go. Here we go. Do you remember that
But that's
time-
all for this week. And but you can get a pizza in Covent Garden or in the city, just off Cannon Street. I'd just like to say thanks to Kev and Mike, as ever, for being incredibly grumpy. Just stay miserable and grumpy. You fit in.